Dr. Terry Ann Scott. It's a David Domke. It's August 21st. It's 6:45 a.m. Pacific time, 9:45 a.m. Washington, D.C. time. Terry, thanks for joining us. Where are you?
I am at the airport waiting for my flight to go to the greatest city in the world, Chicago, for the Democratic National Convention. I'll turn in, you could see. I'm in the terminal, quite literally boarding in about 20 minutes.
Okay. So I woke up at 5:30 a.m. and you and I have these minds that work well all the time. and and when you wake up there, you have these moments where you're like, I should go back to sleep. I'm gonna try to go back to sleep. I'm gonna try. And then you're like, forget it. I'm not
No,
going back to sleep.
I have an idea I have to execute right now.
Exactly. And what I woke up with is I woke up feeling the charge from what I think is one of the most iconic speeches in all conventions history, Michelle Obama's speech last night. And it builds off of what Hillary Clinton charged us with to do on Monday. So I'm pairing these two together. And we did a podcast on Clinton yesterday. I want to do this one on Michelle Obama. And we have this 47 hours to raise 47,000 to elect our 47th POTUS. Okay.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. Last night was electric. And it started with the roll call, a roll call unlike anything I have ever seen. And I don't think there's anything in history that's quite been like that. And when you juxtapose that with the RNC's roll call, boy, what a difference.
Yeah. So I saw like let's just talk for just a moment about the roll call. Little John, which is the one that got you going. Lil John.
Well, no, you know who got me going first? Terry Sewell from the state of Alabama. Because when he opened with that speech and said, Alabama gave you the 64 Civil Rights Act, Alabama gave you the 65 Voting Rights Act, from Montgomery to Mobile. And then she said, we are going to elect our first Black female president. I actually started crying. It was everything.
I haven't seen that. Wow.
Oh, that's what got me. So it was from the beginning because they went in alphabetical order. So Alabama was very early and kicked it off exactly right. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that beautiful roll call. And then let's get to Michelle Obama. That's what this is about. Please, I have two clips I want to show. One is her do something exhortation, and one is going to be where she talks about being a Black American woman, and we're going to show both of these in our 20 minutes together. But first, can you just set the stage, the scene for what does it mean for Michelle Obama to get up and to give this speech?
Oh my, I mean, everything. I had goosebumps most of the evening, and then when she starts speaking, it meant everything. To see her up there speaking those kinds of truths that she spoke, to let her be honest about what so many of us know is coming from the other side, the kinds of iniquity and charges, and for her to call them out and to speak with such poise, she's everything. There are a few moments where I realize personally how important it is to kind of see your own reflection. I say it a lot. I understand it. I realize it when it comes to school that children need to see teachers who look like them. I appreciate it. I believe it. I work to make that happen. But what has happened this week and last night was that I'm able to see my reflection. And I think I underestimated until last night, the absolute and the night before, seeing Karen Bass and everybody, and of course Kamala being nominated, the absolute power and inspiration inherent in me, my own positionality, being able to see my reflection. And so watching Michelle Obama come out on that stage and speak in the way that she did and talk about hope and really be this embodiment of hope, but be realistic about it and say, we're going to face some challenges. We are, but you can't stop. And charging us not just with going to the ballot and voting, but doing much more than that.
Totally, man. I tell you, I thought of you all the way through Michelle Obama's speech. You are in our organization and in this body of work that we do, you exhort us, you call to us the way that Michelle Obama did last night.
There's no better compliment than that. Thank you for starting my day.
That's why I texted you at 5:45 Pacific time. I'm like, Terry, I need you. We need you. Let me
Uber, I'm on my way to the airport.
Here's the it's a 3-minute incredible set of commentary from Michelle Obama about the calling to us. And folks, we're asking, or in her words, as she said, we're telling you, I'm telling you.
We cannot get a Goldilocks complex about whether everything is just right. And we cannot indulge our anxieties about whether this country will elect someone like Kamala instead of doing everything we can to get someone like Kamala elected.
That's such a beautiful statement.
Kamala and Tim, they have lived amazing lives. And I am confident that they will lead with compassion, inclusion, and grace. But they are still only human. They are not perfect. And like all of us, they will make mistakes. But luckily, y'all, this is not just on them. No, this is up to us, all of us, to be the solution that we seek. It's up to all of us to be the antidote to the darkness and division. Look, I don't care how you identify politically, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the above. This is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right. To stand up, not just for our basic freedoms, but for decency and humanity, for basic respect, dignity, and empathy, for the values at the very foundation of this democracy. It's up to us to remember what Kamala's mother told her. Don't just sit around and complain, do something. So if they lie about her, and they will, we've got to do something. If we see a bad poll, and we will, we got to put down that phone and do something. If we start feeling tired, if we start feeling that dread creeping back in, we got to pick ourselves up, throw water on our face, and what? We only have 2.5 months, y'all, to get this done. Only 11 weeks to make sure every single person we know is registered and has a voting plan. So we cannot afford for anyone America to sit on their hands and wait to be called. Don't complain if no one from the campaign has specifically reached out to you to ask you for your support. There is simply no time for that kind of foolishness. You know what you need to do. So, consider this to be your official ask. Michelle Obama is asking you, no, I'm telling y'all to do something. We cannot.
I'm doing a podcast.
Yes, you are. You're doing a.
I love that. We're interacting. So great. I'm talking to a fellow passenger. She hears the plane and said it was wonderful.
Totally. That person can join us. Okay. If you want to. Terry, the do something. Isn't that's like our motto? That's us, right?
That's us. Literally, I'm watching that thinking, this is us. She is speaking what we say. This is the action part of everything that we say. Yes, we want you to vote, but what else are you going to do? Because it is up to each one of you. Don't sit around and complain about it. Get up and do something. We talk about our pathways to action, and we provide those pathways to action. And so we are saying to everybody out there here, we have a path for you to walk forward to do something. Also, can we talk about the call and response that she has in there?
Please go.
That's too good. That's too good. Such a West African tradition of call and response. And what a way to engage the crowd. I'm becoming a student of their methodology too. She and Obama thinking, that is how you get people to participate and get them really riled up. She's just one in a good way, riled up in a good way, not in a way that it does.
So can you talk about the way in which she stepped in, she lives in, but last night she occupied the space of the African American female leadership, and what it from what she had to say to us as a country, it came from her, from a deep place. She started
Oh,
with her mom,
yeah.
okay? And yes,
Well, she started with her mom and, well, her mother who just passed away, and the
right.
fact that she's there and said that she felt charged to be there essentially by her mother, that she needed to be there
Yes.
and stand in the truth that she was going to speak in Chicago, where she's from, might I add, where I'm
Yeah.
from. You know that, David, because I
Just
never
down the
talked.
street, South Chicago from Michelle. A little bit
That's
further for you somewhere, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. Just down the street for her. She made a comparison between Kamala's origin story and her own, and then starts to go into this idea of, and we've seen that theme, I think, throughout the week thus far. And I don't recall that so much in the past. It's not just about the single action. I'm going to say it again, of casting the vote. It's about doing so much more. And she steps in as this woman. And can we talk about the ponytail? Because the aesthetic has much to do with where she is and how she feels. And her arms showing. It was one of the first things I said to my husband, look, she probably very strategically left her arms out, because you recall when Obama was in office, she was
Yes.
chastised simply for
Yes.
showing her arms, never mind what some other first lady has done. And so she chose to have her arms out. She had this beautiful braided long ponytail. She had this aesthetic that spoke of a pride of Blackness, and then charged in. It was beautiful. Loved it.
So David Korn, who is the editor of Mother Jones, a very liberal magazine, and is as grizzled, he's a white dude, and as grizzled of a journalist as you'll ever find, cynical, jaded, last night on Twitter, said it's the most important convention speech he's ever seen. Okay.
Wow.
And I believe that this convention, with Hillary Clinton's voice on Monday night, with Michelle Obama's voice last night, has been led by these women. Okay. Like Barack Obama was in the shadow of Michelle Obama last night, right?
Right. And he's the type of man who probably was proud of that.
And the masculinity that Doug Emhoff and Barack Obama and Tim Walz is going to offer tonight, we are so fired up to stand here next to these people, to
Right.
these women, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
we've never seen this in a political convention. We've never seen this in our national leadership before.
No, and putting on, I mean, and you had the mayor of Los Angeles out there, a woman, Karen Bass, and then you had Angela also Brooks from my neck of the woods.
Yes.
The way that they are, and even the roll call, the way that they had women, for instance, the woman in Texas who told her story about how her inability to access abortion care, what that cost her or could have cost her in her life. The way that they are uplifting women and women's stories, brilliant, perfect.
Yeah. The Washington State Democratic Party Chair Shasti Conrad cast the votes for Washington State, and right next to her, Pramila Jayapal. All right.
Yes.
Just like right there. So
Yeah.
Michelle Obama, though, took it to we're not only in a place of leadership by women that we've never seen. She spoke directly about race.
Yep.
And racism and the fight for racial justice.
Yeah.
Too. She took it to she went places where I would like to in a moment get your response of where my wife and I, when we were watching, were like, oh my God, she just went there. All right. And so go ahead and tell us about this, and then I'm going to show the clip that you can reference the clip. It's okay.
Right. And when she said that moment where she said, first of all, when she said he, and she's referring to Trump,
Right.
couldn't stand seeing an educated, very successful couple in the White House. First of all, that he was Trump, but it was also a number of his constituents. Let's be clear that she was speaking to the people who have espoused racist ideologies, who have been blatantly racist, who chastised them for going to Hawaii simply because of a matter race. So first there's that. And then I thought she wasn't going to say it, because what undergirded that comment was an understanding, right? That she was talking about race, but she took it over the finish line. And she said, who also happened to be Black. And my husband and I were like, oh, it was like we were watching a football game because he went in for the 2-point conversion and just slammed him. It was fantastic. My little football reference there. So that was wonderful. And then to follow that up with saying, I bet he didn't know he's going after a Black job. One of my favorite things I've seen, and mind you, Trump has said this now twice, once in his speech and then, or in the debate, and then once in front of the Black journalists about Black jobs. I have loved watching people post things saying like, I'm going to work as a doctor. That's my Black job, you know, really flipping that on its head. And so the fact that she did that with the office of the presidency, beautiful.
Beautiful. So here's that clip, and you're so right. She calls directly to Trump, but she's using Trump as the figurehead of a much larger body of thinking and perspective. And she just hammered it. She did. That's David Corn's tweet. This may be the best political convention speech ever. And then this is Charlotte Clymer, who's a transgender military veteran who's a voice for millions. She said that address by Michelle Obama will go down as among the all-time great convention speeches.
Oh, beautiful.
Made him feel threatened by the existence of we know what comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be Black. Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those Black jobs? Look,
I had to rewind that last night and watch it like 3 times.
What are you feeling when you see it?
The best. It was honest and truthful. It gave voice to what so many of us know and understand. And then to slam it at the end with her husband in the presidency as a Black job, which also means sets that path for Kamala coming into it. It was pure brilliance.
I said last night on our Zoom, because we're doing these 4 nights at the DNC convention where we get together beforehand and then watch the speeches and get together after. And tonight we join at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Hopefully you'll be joining us from Chicago at that time. And then we'll join from 4 to 6-ish Pacific time, and then we'll watch some speeches, and then we'll come back together. And we'll do the same thing Thursday night too, when Harris accepts the nomination. I said after Obama's speech last night, I said, I think Michelle Obama came for Donald Trump tonight. She came for Donald Trump in it like 8 years. No, it was more than 8. It's been really since 2011 when Trump started on his birther crusade.
Yeah.
Right? And Trump has historically been racist all the way back into the 60s and the 70s.
Right.
But she brought it all last night.
She did. There were no holds barred. I mean, it's amazing that she hadn't done it previous to this. It's really speaks to so much about her, just her, and the way that she was able to contain that and move forward and raise her children. And the stakes are so high. And that was the moment. If she was going to save that for a moment, last night was the moment to do it. Right now, this moment in our country is the moment to do it. Because like Obama said, Barack said, we have seen that sequels are always bad.
Yes, yes, yes. So we at Common Power are running this 47 hours to raise 47,000 to elect our 47th POTUS. And the great news, folks, is that we're at 10,000 so far already. Okay. And we have a matching fund of everybody who donates $500 or more will get matched. We're asking for this now. It is stretching. It is necessary. It is essential. And it is, I'm going to be honest about this. It might be very difficult financially for anybody to donate, but it is not as difficult a road as the people that Michelle Obama is referring to and the journey that she and Kamala Harris have gone on. All right. It is not. This is our ability to be part of a movement. Terry, when you have spent time in the archives, you have seen these letters of people giving money to support the freedom rides and the bus boycott of 1955.
Sending anything that they can. I remember going to the archives about a year ago and I started taking all of these pictures. It was unexpected. I wasn't even looking for this at the Library of Congress. It was in the NAACP files that people were sending letters and they'd have copies of checks or just the amount written on there to the Montgomery Improvement Association, trying to support the ride share program that they had, from $1 to $300, from churches and synagogues to unions. It was amazing. I started sending you all those pictures in real time because I was so moved by that was their part to be able to help in that endeavor. That was a successful endeavor. I mean, it's just incredible. Listen, I work for the organization and I'm about to donate.
Me too. Yes, folks, because we believe that you've got to be the model. You got to be the change you want to be, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is incredible.
So
this is the moment, and we are on the ground doing it. All the things, that's what she's saying. You have to get up and you have to do something. Who was it? Was it somebody last night said you need to knock on doors, text, phone call? And I thought, that's us.
Exactly.
They're speaking of Common Power. That's what we do.
Barack said that. We need to make phone calls. We need to knock doors. Yes.
And that's when you donate to us. That's the work that you support us being able to do. People who are able to go out there. The different pathways include those things, and it includes being able to support people who can do those things.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
You're gonna have like the whole airplane ready to go by the time you get to Chicago, because you guys are flying to Chicago, right?
I can't be the only person going to the DNC. I haven't gone over to the gate yet, but it's like it's in my view, so I can't wait. We're gonna be chanting on the plane.
Exactly. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. Right?
So good. I'm so excited.
So, Terry, thanks for joining us this morning. We'll catch you at the convention. Let's do this. All right.
Awesome. Yes, she can.
Yes, she can. Yes. And we're talking about Michelle. We're talking about Hillary. We're talking about you. Yes, she can. All right. All right.
Go Kamala. All right, David. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
See ya. Bye.